Welcome back here to the PGL Americas Minor. An amazing video there of the Asia Minor and all of the highlights from that. And as it said, coming up now is the Americas Minor. We've got almost done one day of it though, right?
Yeah.
And welcome, I just want to say, to the desk again, Anders and Henry. Welcome back. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We're getting through this. We thought this kind of schedule in the evening would be a horrible affair, but I think we're doing pretty good. I think we're doing okay. We're surviving.
I thought it was going to be fine.
Yeah, no problem. Well, you reset your body clock last night. You stayed out all night, right? So you were doing a good job.
Yes, I did.
Reading and stuff, right?
So I stayed up. I didn't go out.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm chilled.
Why are we doing this?
You stayed up too. Why are we? What? Just all of this, or?
Yeah, generally.
Just generally, why are we doing this? No. This is actually has been great. Like, actually, I think we're just on American time. I'm just looking at the clock on the broadcast, and I'm not trying to look at our actual body clocks.
Well, I guess the headline is one more game to go.
Yes.
We have said goodbye to one team already. Complexity are gone. Didn't win a single map, James. You hate to see it. The British boys out of the tournament. We wanted them to do well.
Such a shame.
Yeah, we did.
No, I did. I was rooting for them. Every time I saw the little British flag come up at the bottom of the screen, I was very happy. Made me feel warm inside. And now that's gone, and I feel cold. But NRG, we saw beat Complexity.
Yes, that's not bad.
And as you can see here, the brackets on the screen for Group A, NRG have gone through now to play Luminosity in this lower bracket as a last decider. So how do we feel about this? Earlier on, guys, we kind of, I know, Henry, you were on the desk before this matchup earlier, and it's actually quite hard to analyse beforehand, but we've seen both of these teams play.
We have.
And so what's kind of like your updated opinion on what we're going to see between these two?
I think overall NRG have looked like a decent team. Like, everyone seems to be fragging for them. There's no one's really lagging behind as of yet. The thing is, though, we've only seen one map so far, right? We've seen Cash, these guys play it. That's Luminosity. Yep. They've played it twice so far. We're like, okay, this is looking okay for them. We'll see whether they can keep it up going forward. But I feel like NRG is going to veto that map out now and maybe move on to something else. That's a very frag-orientated map, right? And it seems like in terms of straight-up firepower and brute force aim, Luminosity beat them across the board in that sense, and especially players like Yell, who looked amazing earlier as well. Yeah. I think they want to go for more tactical maps and more group kind of team-based plays, kind of style maps coming forward. So I feel like NRG are the better team, but in terms of firepower, Luminosity have them beat. So I think as long as they play their veto correctly here, I think NRG will be 3 maps they should come out on top.
Moses was saying earlier that he thought NRG, at the very beginning of this day, NRG would be the second in this group, would actually go through to the playoffs. Do you still feel like, having watched them over the course of today, if that will be the case, Anders?
That's an interesting prediction. It could be. I don't know. Yeah, you're right, because the first game was 16-11, right? Mm-hmm. Luminosity won down Cash 16-11. So that's not like a completely one-sided, very decisive scoreline. We just based on that, they're definitely going to win this best of 3. But I don't think it's an out-of-this-world prediction. I'm just not sure. I feel like the Brazilians inspired me a little bit more, and I think some of the inconsistencies that we saw in NRG really kind of worry me. Like, finding a way to put Peter into action. I feel like that's one of the issues, right? He's
been a slow burner this tournament, I have to say. Like, he's had some very strong halves and then some very poor ones as well. The AWP, especially against Complexity, though, he seemed confident. He was a bit more dynamic and finding positional control throughout the series there as well. Train was obviously hit or miss for the team. They went to double overtime. It felt like they should have put it to bed earlier on, but they dropped off towards the end there, actually dropping 5 rounds in a row to take it to overtime. So that was a bit disappointing for them, but it feels like they've got better as the tournament progresses. It's only been a few maps, sure, but they are getting better as a unit. And I don't know, I'm impressed by some of the players so far. Breezy, especially, a player I've never watched ever, and he's actually impressed me quite significantly, James, I have to say.
Yeah, and let's have a look at the Luminosity team first off. If you're just joining us, we want to go through the players on each of these teams. So Luminosity, let's run down exactly who these 5 players are and who NRG are going to be playing up against.
Well then, players I'm not really that familiar with. It's going to be Destiny, Showtime, Yell. I think he's the MVP so far for this team. He's amazing. Lights out Orpa. Shaz, we going with? Is that what we decided with? Shizzle, Shoes.
Shiz. We went with Shiz, and then Matt made it Shaz.
Okay.
Shizzle's been...
Shizzle.
There's been a lot of suggestions. I like Shizzle a lot. I think Shizzle is a really good name.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got Pickle as well, your personal favourite. We've had the Pickle party here today in the studio.
There has been a lot of Pickle-themed
I don't want to know what that means.
Conversation going on, actually.
You know what it means. By the way it makes you feel.
Yeah. Sorry, you saying, Anders, you've had a lot of conversation about pickles?
Yeah, I was saying
Oh,
in
just in
general.
general.
Keep going on the pickles. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, they're like a cultural phenomenon. I mean, you don't find them everywhere in the world, but in the West, certainly, there's there's a lot of that. So
I don't know what he's on about, but let's James save it. Steer us in the right direction.
Well, the next thing on our list is to look at NRG and the players.
That's perfect. I can run you through this one much easier.
Yes.
I think.
Well, let's do that then.
Let's give it a go, shall we?
We know some of these
We
faces.
do. Some stars that have been around in the scene for a very long time. Peter, Fugly, and Daps are the players we've probably all heard of at this point. Breezy and Little Man. These are two players I wasn't too familiar with. Jason heralded Breezy as a player that's got a lot of talent going forward. He says like he's one of the stars emerging from the NA scene. Little Man, I actually thought he was pretty decent in that matchup against Complexity as well.
Yeah.
A player I've never heard of. I'm not going to pretend that I have, but he actually seems like a very relatively skilled player overall. Like he manages to get lots of close range, really flick shot kind of AK style headshots coming in, which I thought was pretty cool. But overall, yeah, you've got three big names here. Peter, for example, he's always kind of hit or miss. You either see him having amazing or potential or kind of dropping off quite significantly. We've had a bit of both this tournament, but I'm hoping he can step up here. I'd like to see NRG do well as a team. I do think it's a nice storyline for them. Luminosity, new on the scene, decent organization. Not really sure what they can bring to the table, though.
Well, you know what catches my eye when you look at some of these new players, like you said, because it's true, Lil Man and Breezy, we haven't seen anything, we don't really know much about them, and my expectation always is that if you have players like that you haven't seen much of before, you don't really know what they're about, chances are when they get put under pressure, they're going to crumble. They're not going to, they're going to make some silly mistakes when it really matters. I don't think they've made like not that many of those type of mistakes, where you said, oh, that was down to
We saw
pressure.
more of that from Complexity,
Yeah.
right? We saw a lot of the stuff where they're like panicking when the bomb's being planted, getting off it, and then running around a situation where they're by themselves, giving away single frags. To be fair, thinking about it, NRG didn't see a lot of that. Did see some questionable decisions on the CT side of pushing maybe at the wrong time and maybe being over-aggressive, trying to force a situation on the CT side, like pushing in 3 inside 2 or 3 times in a row and not really adjusting in time. Remember Fugly by himself an inside train. It was quite stubborn to change that setup. Towards the end, he got the double orb setup out and he would look more comfortable, but it seemed like it was almost too late. They were lucky to get through that one, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, almost I would say like in the life of someone trying to become like a professional player, the first obstacle is even qualifying for the tournaments. And then when you qualify for the tournaments, you find out that, once you're there, wow, the game is completely different. Now, there's a different kind of pressure on you. You have no experience with that, so you have to learn how to play with that. If you can skip all of that and just actually play reasonably at, an important tournament, this is really important, that's the sign of a stable player. Like I think we always evaluate everybody based on like could they become the new world superstar, and why would we do that? Like I mean, if someone like Breezy and Lil Man can just become really good, solid role players in the team, that's really important.
You don't need to be the most lights out fragger to become a decent player, right?
Yeah.
This is the point you're making. You can just play a role, get a couple of frags here or there. Now look at the story of Body as a player. He's by no means the flashiest player in the whole of Europe, but playing in one of the world's best teams now, G2, and plays his role spectacularly. Not known as like, oh, he's the best player mechanically, he's getting all these shots. But for me, he is getting to like the top 20 players in the world because he is just playing the role perfectly and doing what he has to do. Smart, fundamental CS that's actually winning his team rounds without getting highlight clips. So that's one of the key things you take away from just being an emerging player.
Do you think NRG, having coming off of a win, will have a little bit of an advantage having that high, or do you think it's a case that they've only just come off of a match, they've just played a best of 3, they could be a little bit worn out? How do you think it's going to affect them?
I feel like it's a benefit to just play a best of 3 where you just got the team morale back up. You got on 2-0 as well. The second one's a really convincing win. You're probably just hungry to play more CS at that point. It was a really grueling second map where you went to overtime. There's lots of mistakes being made, lots of arguments, which it didn't seem to be much of. I think you'd actually be worried and like kind of feeling a little bit drained and the adrenaline levels would be dumped out. So I think that would have been an issue. But I think at this point, you're hungry now. You want to prove you're not going to be knocked out at this stage of the tournament. You're up against a opposition you've already lost to. You want to prove yourself, right? They lost him in the cash. So you want to kind of rectify things there. So I feel like they'll be ready to go and have the advantage, I guess, if you want to go there.
I mean, also, they've played 3 maps today, right? They played Cash and they played Train, and now they played Inferno as the last one. And I guess you could say they got put to the test on Train, so probably in terms of, how much of their, tactical bank they had to sort of empty just to win that game. I think if Luminosity was watching, they would have seen a lot of those strats, and realized, okay, this is how they behave under pressure. This is some of the last-ditch efforts or whatever. But on Inferno, there was almost no test, right? Like, if you were a Luminosity watching that game, you wouldn't be like, yeah, we know everything that they're going to do.
That's also worrying as well. The same vein, I guess, to that. It was a very comfortable game, but they weren't really challenged whatsoever, right? They didn't feel like Complexity were ready for that map at all. They were hoping they could maybe win Train, probably lose Inferno and win it out on the third. I think that's all they were really gunning for there. And I think once they lost Train, they knew it was over. They had nothing to really step up to. But still, in terms of the morale advantage, they'll be thinking, okay, cool, we just got 2-0 there. We can go forward and hopefully try and emulate what we just did.
Yeah, but if I was a Luminosity, I would have hoped that they would have been tested so much that I would know more about them. If they played another 2 overtimes on Inferno or something, I would feel like, all right, now we have a really good read on them. So I'd be a bit gutted if I would want them to play a third map even, just so that I know more of their map pool and what they're doing.
Talking of map pool, we do have the veto.
This is why he's the master. James is always ready to go.
Here we go. Here's the veto, and we got NRG's pick is Cobblestone. Luminosity pick Train, and the decider would be Cash if we need it. So Cobblestone first.
Okay.
So very different. We haven't seen Cobblestone today yet. We've seen a lot of Cash and we've seen Train already. So yeah, Cobblestone. It'd be interesting to see how these guys fare on that.
Yeah, it's a map obviously we haven't seen today at all. It can be very difficult on the CT side of the map, especially against one of these teams like Luminosity, who's been quite loose and like to do rushes, and they've got these really flamboyant players as well. Traditionally, I'm just going to say really sweeping comments right now. Brazilian teams love Cobblestone generally, like they're very good on the T side, because like I said, when you think about Immortals when they first arrived on the scene as well, it seems to suit their play style of being very loose and fast and just being able to choose a position on the map, go for it, split the bomb sites, and just have great aim, take the jewels, and just overwhelm CTs in that sense. In this particular matchup as well, I would actually say that Luminosity, if they are going to play like we saw on Cash, they have the advantage here. They're moving on to Train. NRG seemed pretty comfortable in that one. It did go to double overtime, but they seemed fundamentally sound across the board. Yeah. So I think they'll be fine there. I think Cash is very likely, and that's where Luminosity might take the series. That didn't look great for NRG in that first showing.
No, a lot of issues, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, you think we'll see it go to all three as well? Then,
yeah, I suspect that will probably happen. I could definitely see that happening. Look forward to seeing if any of these teams have figured out like a really good way to hold the B bomb site. I still think the B bomb site on Cobblestone is really. I figured out I figured out like a good way to explain what the issue is, and it's because there's almost no other map that I can think of where you could be holding a good position, like, let's say you're on the B-bomb side. If you're holding, Chicken Coop, or you're holding on the fountain, or on the statue, or anything like that, those are good positions only as long as you hold drop. Like, the second your drop player dies, all of those positions become really bad. Like, they go down in value so quickly, right? Whereas on almost every other map, if your other player on the bomb side dies, sure, it's tough, but, you could probably still find a way out of it, whereas it feels like on Cobblestone on B, if you're on the CT side, you're just done.
It's one of those few maps we have in the pool right now that the CTs have very limited options at the very start. You can go for the AWP pick at the bottom and middle with a smoke down. That's pretty much it. In terms of having an advantage, you can drop that smoke and have a clear view at the top and middle, right? You can go towards long A as well. It's a really a huge disadvantage of the CTs. So T's are normally there before them, pre-firing that angle. It takes a bit of a brave player to actually go for that face at the start. Upper platform, we're seeing more and more players get the AWP on that position now and actively try and challenge, using the steps in the box, flashing over with their teammates. Seeing some really cool flashbangs being used these days to flash over and try and get the first pick. But overall, it's a very difficult map unless you have that assertiveness at the start of the round to go for the first picks, which I'm not sure NRG do. I haven't really seen them play Cobble. I can only really speculate. They seem to have it on Train at least. They were going for some aggressive picks there, but I'm not sure whether they have that on Cobblestone. That's yet to be seen. I think it's something they're going to have to bring to the table, try and get that early advantage at the start, and hopefully run away with it. I'm turning into a bit of an NRG fan. I think some of their players looked really, really good. Like Breezy especially, I thought he was quite impressive.
All right.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Luminosity to get prepared. We've just seen them on stage setting up.
Why didn't I get to answer any funny questions? Why do the other guys get to do that? The Twitter questions and stuff. Do you not love me enough?
Do you know what? That's a very, very good, poignant point.
Have you got one for me?
I've got one for you. Have a look at your screen.
Oh, God. You're so good. Who do you have as the dark horse
Who do you have as the dark horse in this minor from Grantism HD?
Okay, over to you. I'm trying to think of everyone that's in it.
You just asked for a question.
Yeah,
what? You're just passing it off to... okay, we'll let you think. We'll let you...
Who's in Group B again, James? Misfits,
CLG.
Here we go. CLG, they're my dark horse.
Yeah?
I think I've got something. I've got a great statement I can say about those. What's yours? I'll go after you.
I don't know. Like, you have to... I mean, I think I might choose... I might go for Misfits over that. Like, if
with no Sean and no Shazam?
Yeah, still. Yeah, that's
You're
why they're.
fine with
That's
that?
why they're a dark horse.
Okay,
you know,
well,
that's
there you
the
go.
whole point, isn't it?
Did you even know that was happening, or you just said
Yeah,
misfits?
yeah. No,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
I'm slightly clued in. Right.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Fair enough. I guess that does make them a bit of a dark horse. The fact that no one knows how they're going to play.
Yeah,
And they're
that's.
going to be very loose, very fast, and
Yeah.
who knows what could happen. I think
So
CLG.
why CLG?
From what we saw at Star Ladder, I think they're the team that's
Okay.
always been the underperformer of the NAC, and generally that organization has never done amazing things in CS:GO, especially like they've always like taken a map here or there. They've never really made it to the playoffs. They've always looked pretty weak. But when you saw on the Star Ladder, especially with the signing of Ricky, I think they've looked like a really solid team overall. They've actually managed to cause some damage and get into the top 8, I think it was, the Star Ladder as well, and actually looked like they could go toe-to-toe with some of the biggest teams in the world, right? They could actually take maps off them and go deep into a best of 3. So I think at this particular minor, they could be someone who's been developing since Star Ladder. That was like 2 months ago now, and hopefully got themselves in a position where they can actually maybe, just maybe, make top 2 of this group. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah, very valid points.
I was going to say as well, we did have a Counter-Strike update right before the game. Like I think literally
No way.
5 minutes before. So
Did you have a look at the notes?
No, I didn't. I have no idea what. So I'm assuming nothing big's changed. But you never know. Could be
Bit of a curveball from Valve at this point.
Yeah.
added concussion grenades. So
Bazookas.
I think the decoy bomb that we spoke about earlier.
You've been a massive fan of
I'm a
this
big
idea.
advocate of the new game type decoy bomb. Yeah.
So the idea of that, if you plant, it's like the golden snitch. I think you
It's like
described
the
it, right?
golden snitch in Harry Potter. Yes.
So you plant a fake bomb.
Yeah.
And
So
someone defuses it.
on the terrorist side, you get one decoy bomb a match,
Okay.
and if you choose to put the decoy bomb down, and it looks a little bit different. There has to be a way to tell that it's the decoy bomb, else it's not fair. If the CTs defuse the decoy bomb, the Ts win the whole match.
Get it on Reddit, boys. That's a game-changing idea right there. Let's
Try
see
it.
whether they like it. Valve might read it before the major, put it in.
I think, you know, give it a test. One of those beta tests or something.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Well, party stuff come out of will it do like a weird sound, like a wee sound when you like?
Yeah, something like that. Or
You've
it'll
normally got mad ideas. Have you got anything you want to check in there?
Well, I don't know if it's a mad idea. I still don't understand
Here we go.
why.
Here comes the gold.
I don't understand why decoys show up on the minimap still.
What do you mean?
Like what when you throw them, the enemy can sort of see they can see the player position all the time, like on the.
Doesn't that happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why does
Why
that
is it
happen?
still?
Like why?
Because at least the decoy does something.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be better if you couldn't see it? So then you wouldn't necessarily know that it was a decoy. Like I'm saying, I think the decoy has like an extremely limited use case. But one of them could be if you had an AWP and you throw a decoy, behind yourself, and then you wait, and then the sound of the AWP goes off, and you hope that the other AWP peeks against you.
The thing is as well, the problem with decoys, right, is because it takes up a grenade slot, and you buy a $50 decoy over 2 flashbangs, Molotov, HE or Smoker, for example. The fact you have to take a slot up with that. Sure, if you'd like buy an AWP and just arm it, all you have left is $50, chuck it in.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that idea you've got. Like if you're standing, let's say on train, on the pallet looking towards Ivy, drop on the floor, scope out, wait for that first shot to come out, bait him out, then go for it. Never seen anyone do that, so that's something.
Yeah, but the problem is it works
as mad
so.
as I was hoping, really.
It works
That's quite logical.
Yeah, it would work so badly because they can see the little blip on the minimap, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if they couldn't do that, then they would. I mean, if they waited just a little while, they would realize because of the interval, they would probably be able to hear, well, that's probably a decoy. That's the other problem with them is that for every other weapon like the M4 or an AK or something, it's meaningless. But I think that could maybe happen.
I think we mix both of our ideas and we have a decoy bomb decoy.
Yeah.
Where you throw a decoy, which is a bomb symbol on the minimap. Anyway, let's move on to the match because we are ready. Thank you guys. Well, I'll catch up with you after this map.
Thanks for having me.
Who is it? Sadakist and Sponge. Take it away, guys.
Thank you. Glad that's over. Sponge, we've never casted together before. This will be a oodles of fun.
Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
This will be fun. How
Yes.
badly are you going to throw me under the bus in certain scenarios? Here?
Every chance I get.
It's like when you have a baby and you throw them in the pool to teach them how to swim, right?
Dad did that once. I scratched his back so hard. He never did it again.
Well, what?
Well, he was like, he threw me in the pool, was swimming away for me to swim to him. And as he was swimming away, I reached out and lashed him by accident because I was trying to reach for him.
From the stories I've heard, you're a very violent child.
No, I was all right. No more or less violent than anyone else, really. I mean, come on.
Where do you see this one going?
To 16 rounds.
Okay, who's going to get the 2 maps required first?
It's 32 rounds.
I like the sky. It's quite dark.
I think Luminosity, based on what we've seen today. Sky does look very dark, doesn't it?
Ominous.
Is it going to rain? But it's not cloudy. It's just,
Maybe the sun's setting.
You get a little more ambient, the sky blue pink.
That's definitely a possibility.
The atmospheric.
We've seen a little bit of utility
refraction.
picked up by Daps here. He's got a smoke and 2 flashbangs. On the CTs, they've all gone with armor, so no kit there. If the bomb does go down, they're against the clock. They need that 10-second defuse to come on in. All these teams seem to be on their T sides grabbing, the smoke and flash, not going for too much utility, which you can do a lot of cool executes to make sure you get the bomb down on the T sides, but they're taking it very minimalistic.
I like it. I like everything. Showtime's already made contact. Actually, I think dinked one through the door, but it was such a minimal amount of damage. Oh. See the body flinch. That time it certainly didn't. It just dropped like a stone. Bye-bye, Peter. Showtime's going to watch out. Ooh. Did you just take a screenshot?
No, it wasn't me.
Are you a photographer, Chad? You
swear
never
I
told
did.
me.
Peter,
Canon,
Piper, picked
Nikon?
up Pepper. So Showtime always tends to be the forward man on these pistol rounds, whether it's getting information or baiting for someone else. The maps that I've been watching, he seems to be doing that on a consistent basis. So that's his role on these pistol rounds. It's kind of interesting to have one guy resigned to doing that.
Do you know what Yell's favorite color is?
Orange.
It's actually pink. PKL, next in line to make contact. Flash over. Does actually catch him. I would have thought he saw the trail going upward. But didn't. Perhaps a little lackadaisical in the moment. Fugly's still waiting to try and enter in. Playing similar to what they said earlier on the desk. More of a lurk because he can take over that role from time to time. It was Jason that brought that point up. He's clever, that Jason guy.
Some would say.
I wouldn't, but some would say.
Looks like we're going for an ace split here.
It should be. And they got to attain drop room to do it. Little Man's the one to get the kill required to trade on Destiny. Bring Showtime back his direction, which is all they need for information. He's busy inside a connector. Fine. PKL still at B. He needs to start rotating faster. Because Bomb's going to get on the A site. In fact, they're pitching Little Man back. Everyone's running over to B. They've given up the A site entirely. He should go down, Little Man. Means there's 3 still on the retake, but like you say, no kit. 10 seconds on the defuse. We've got another little bar that pulsates at the top. Won't be a dead giveaway, but it tells you how much time roughly they have to work with. They trade back. Breezy goes down. Fugly's still in it. Jumps up. Further information. 1v1 with PKL. 60 HP. Doesn't need to force the issue. 10 seconds. Forced to get off it with the jump shot. Just continues to tap it. I like that we can see his defuse, even though we're not watching him. This makes it clever. No way. I thought maybe he'd get away with it. Shoulder shows too much.
Fugly once again, Matt. Another three frags from this guy. He has been standing up here on land for NRG, which is... He's not been known for being the biggest fragger, and we were talking that he had more of an impact on the CT side, but it seems like throughout these maps so far today, he's had an impact on the T side as well.
It's a new LAN.
A new Fugly.
Well, I was going to go with like a new dawn. It's a new day, but it's just a new LAN. It's a new game. He's looking all right.
Yeah, lots of utility right now on NRG, which I hope that they don't get caught in transition here. I'm really not a fan of doing the default on the T side for anti-ecos. I know you don't want to walk into a stack, but I feel right now if you expend utility and the CTs have a little bit themselves, they can push you back, and then you get one player gets picked off and you find yourself in a limbo period, and the walls just feel like they start to collapse in as the CTs take all the territory that they can.
Well, it's all of them smoke. Hit, tagged, extinguished. So they actually lose track of y'all. They may have been... better to try and pursue it, but they don't want to walk into a crossfire too quickly. Showtime is on the scout this time around. Are you leaning toward Luminosity in this one as well?
I have a feeling that Luminosity have a bit more flash, right? They have a bit more flair. Their fundamentals don't seem to be as strong, right? You see, not every player on their team is able to frag consistently. When you do look at the guys from NRG throughout this tournament so far, it seems relatively even. Obviously, Fugly and Breezy that are out in front there. But everyone seems to be contributing when they need to. Like that pistol round, Lil Man pulled 3 players to his position on the map, right? Just to kill him, and that gave his other 2 teammates the chance to say that A-bomb site, get the bomb down, and secure the round from there. So this is the posturing that I don't like. They've expended utility. The CTs at B haven't gone for any info, but right now the play's on this 30 seconds. They've spotted a couple of players. Destiny in a bit of trouble. Goes down to Peter. Yell with 2 quick kills. That seems to be having a lot of impact so far.
Yeah, yeah, back to that, because the draw speed sucks, but in rounds when it's the primary, the only gun they're working with, still is quite effective. Fugly plants bomb, safe side of the hut. All good from his front, as Daps, meanwhile, covers off back of the APC with the MAC-10. Anyone pushes through that smoke, they should go down quite quickly. They have to jump through it, so the MAC-10 definitely gets the advantage while they're in the air. The pistol's just trying to find their way through. Head armor on 2. And chest piece on Showtime, yet they're committing to this rather than saving that over as some teams would elect to do in the second round. And they may all go down as a result of it not doing any economic damage as well, because 3 players staying in this, just as it were. Showtime wants to save the scout, upgrades to a UMP, 2 HP remaining.
That just makes absolutely no sense, man. That's
yeah,
ludicrous,
I don't
right?
like that.
They postured for so long. The T's didn't make a mistake. They didn't give them a pick. They still went out for frags, and then they walked into the crossfires that they had set up. They just threw away head armor, pistols, the scout, everything they had invested for nothing. They could have waited in the doors, waited in the vent room, waited at heaven. As soon as the T's left the bomb site, right, to get away from the explosion, which they're going to have to do at some point, you can get a couple of cheeky kills, hurt their economy, really make life difficult for them. But instead, they're going for a retake, which was always going to be impossible because you didn't know where any of the T's were. That was my best Henry impression. Did you like it?
That was all right. No, you did. You know what? I think you might have improved on him.
Thank you. I was really trying to channel him there.
You might want to give him some tips, actually.
Just the tip.
I knew you were going to go there. It was good. It was good. Brought to you by Chad Burchill, the Beaver.
I need a theme song, I think.
I'm sure there probably is one for Beaver. There's probably like a cartoon in Canada about a beaver at some point. There had to have been.
No, there was the Two Angry Beavers.
Oh.
Remember that one?
No.
Oh, it was on like Cartoon Network or something.
Okay. Well, Yell's dead.
Yeah, they're not building a very good dam right now, are they?
No, they're not. They're not. Peter doing all right. Takes down 2 with the SMG. Who's going to be...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's looking really good, Peter. I'm impressed.
He's milking. Milking's the new
That's
term.
like farming?
Yeah.
You're just milking the cow?
Yeah.
PGL is going to try and milk the
He's
cow.
got a 4-piece feed right now.
Peter, they're going to let him run for it. They're going to let him try and
Yeah,
hunt.
let him have it.
He's getting closer, but he's actually was in a position where he could have been knifed. He still might be, but he gets the ace instead. One gets greedy. The other accomplishes what he was after and then fails at giving away the Mac 10.
He filled his pail of milk. He filled his pail with milk.
He pulled those udders damn good. Some good, as I think a farmer would say. Pulled him some good.
I'm not so country. So not a lot of utility right now on Luminosity. They don't really have that many Molotovs to work with. Only one on your mate Shoes. I think we're going to call him.
Shaz.
Two left feet.
It's Shaz.
2 SMGs kept from the NRG guys. So maybe a fast, or at least a play where they can trade off the back of those would be a good play for me. But it appears to be a bit of a spread. They have Lil Man and Daps who do have those SMGs together going towards the side hall or A-long, whatever you want to call it. Looks like they're going to try and take a close quarter duel there. And these can be quite effective, Matt. As you see, Luminosity only have head armor on one player. And they will get melted if they come into contact with those SMGs. So really, really passive setup over towards that B site. You know, you can see Shoes in the drop room just peeking, and 2 players with no information over towards long. So if an execute did come in, then not a bad position because they can fight in front of the smokes, but just kind of waiting now for NRG to make up their mind, wait out the default, wait out that limited utility, and then Daps, as the in-game leader, will make a mid-round call, and they'll execute it to the T, I assume.
To the T.
One would hope.
Okay.
Is that a saying anywhere else?
No, that is a saying. But I'm just, that's very precise. So Showtime, corner, flash, dodges it, takes the first shot. Little Man goes down. He didn't manage to kill off Yell beforehand, though, so Showtime has to get 2 to make it up for it, or to win out the exchange at long. He manages to do so. It's finally Luminosity in a gun round that have control of the situation. I don't think they've had a man advantage or a power play, quote-unquote.
Here we go, hockey terms.
Early on, yeah. And with early on, I do mean 30 seconds remaining, so we are a little bit deeper into the round. When the exchange came in, Destiny underneath the arch could be the next one to find a kill quite comfortably, or will it be? Because the AWP of Peter isn't exactly close. As it gets closer, though, it's going to start to focus its vision inside of the site. Drop room, they give up. They leave it open, which could be a problem because therefore, yeah, okay, that works out well. I was going to say Destiny has to get at least 1 kill on that long position before the flanks and rotations get in. They do better than that. PGL actually got a kill in the site.
I don't know what Fugly and Breezy were doing there. They needed to show their wallet, you know, get it out there, show it to the world, and help Peter because he was stuck at long. There was no one on the B site fighting them. Sure, there's a lot of hidey holes, but those rifles need to make sure that the bomb can get to the site. Peter, he may have gone through drop. That might have been the better choice. He went the safe route. You know, you never really think that drop is the safe route in that situation. Went to go towards long. No one helped him clear out that area, and the clock just slowly ticked away.
Well, Yell, aggressive with the AWP. Doesn't go all the way around the corner, but he's got support system with Showtime at long. Early exchange of utility over toward B. No one really in the line of fire yet. Speaking of, there was a bottle of it thrown.
The Molotov?
Yeah, it's a Molotov. It's like a bottle of fire in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Never said I was clever all the time.
See the way that Luminosity, you know, they're playing A. They're both over towards the A long section, which means they're able to help each other. They are having a risk, right? They're banking on timings and that kind of stuff. They do rotate around now. As that smoke comes in, Yellow's going to pick off Peter, who's...
that was good movement.
Yeah, they helped each other, right? That's really important for A holders. I never think you should leave your anchor there on his own too much. I know you want to lean that player over towards B, over towards connector to help supplement the drop player. But when you start off early, if you're going to go with the 2A, make sure you play together. You know, you want to get that early advantage, especially now that teams know they need to get map control.
Breezy. Ooh, apparently spotted from tree, but that does only one thing to Destiny other than give us a position away. It kills him. With PGL stairs, is going to try and work back up. Flash off. Can't. That's going to let the bushes know they're there. Flash out. Somehow he survives. Does the flash do any damage in the exchange to Deps? Didn't take away his vision, but it certainly got him killed.
Just some fun little map stats, Matt.
I heard that LGB was gone now.
Who
There's
knows?
an LGB sticker, but then I saw them in a game the other day with a roster I'd
Don't
never
they have
heard
a
of.
female team?
I don't think it was the female team that was playing. I think they do, but that's the team with Hedgia, and she wasn't playing unless she's not on the team right now. I don't know. I was very confused.
All I know is...
I heard the org was gone.
I had to look at online stats as well for both these teams because they haven't played a lot of LAN together with these rosters. Cobblestone is pretty favorable for both within the top two, and then Train, it being the secondary, is also quite good for Luminosity. Aggressive anti-eco play here from Yao. He's just pushing down mid, spamming, grabbing 3 nice kills there, and you know, do a bit of damage onto old mate Breezy running through that Molotov, and that's a 4-piece for him. He's loving it. He's happy with that. Padding his stats. He's already doing quite well, but every frag counts.
Every frag does count. That is a good point. Kind of, not really though. Exits counts for economy.
Exits make you look good on the scoreboard. That's why I used to like in like 1.6 planting the bomb.
Yeah, because you got three points.
Yeah,
that's right.
Give me those points all day.
Yeah, you look like the top frag. Whoa, I dropped 45. How many kills you get? 2. That'd be a lot of bomb plants.
Someone had to
mathematically
do it, right?
possible.
Someone has to do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully a faster play comes out from NRG right now because, like I was saying, the setup that's being used or employed by the Luminosity guys is they play together. So if you take a gamble, you push through mid, if they're there, sure, it's going to be a very tough duel. You might get shut down, you might trade out fairly. But if you go and there's no one there, you get free access. You get a whole part of that bomb site, or at least the lane to that bomb site to yourself to decide how you want to do it. They're doing the connector smoke and the A-long smoke right here, Matt, as they're going to push through middle. That means they're trying to cut off the choke points and just push straight up, get to that bomb site. But the reaction from Luminosity is great, as Yell's going to push out, miss a frag there that he probably should have had any day of the week, and now he's sitting ready and raring.
Destiny's not moved off B. There's so much exchange going on in A, and he's yet to rotate. However, him might be a little bit quicker on the case. He's got a smoke in front of him, which makes him hesitate. He's just leaving now. Thankfully, his teammates are standing large to the challenge. But there you go. They go down. They're in the site. He's just in connector now. That exchange was going on for almost 20 seconds.
You don't need to take that duel, right? If you're Luminosity, unless you get Molotoved or naded out of position, just wait. Like, let them jump up past that concrete wall, because that's when your crossfires come into play. If you take that duel with them standing behind that wall, they have the headshot advantage. They can play behind the pop plants, be a little bit more hidden, and they know where you're going to step out from. They have more angles to be holding from, and there's more of them waiting for you, right?
So, NRG get one back.
Tit for tat.
Tit for tat. What does that mean, Chad?
Well, 1 for 1, but it's not really, because they got 3 rounds and then they grab 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's.
But maybe it just will. It could imply back and forth.
That's what I always did think about, actually.
Yeah.
A level playing field back and forth. This time around, the op Peter, the op Yell, pretty straightforward. No crazy double op setups running in this game.
Caster stuff, yeah.
Sorry.
He's really, he's a bit inquisitive right here. You know, curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah, but cats have 9 lives, so he's fine. He can do this 8 times.
Yeah, well, he's definitely not yellow belly.
Okay. I'm going to let
Isn't
that one
like
go.
a yellow-
Yeah, I get it. It was fine. It was okay.
I'm really reaching here.
Yeah, it was not great. He's actually gone back.
The presence, right? Having that presence, just shooting a bullet, which he didn't do, is really effective because it scares them.
Did that time.
That's a free frag.
Peace out, little man. I always think he's a rapper. Little man.
Thanks for coming. Can the real Slim Shady please stand up?
I'm right here. I've said that forever.
Looks like drop control is going to come in from the tees right now. 3 players posturing, ready to get in there. They have control. We'll find a nice frag there on Shoes. I know it's not Shoes. I know it's Shiz or
It's
SHZ.
Shaz.
But casting and saying SHZ is ludicrous.
Shizzle. Yeah, no, it's too slow. And those are very hard letters to
Yes.
string together.
Some would
PKL is
say-
pretty easy. Speaking of, he's not around. but PTR is. He'll take down Showtime. That was a push through on a flank. That should get information going back the other way. But Peter's smarter than that. He says, hang on. Let's make them think I'm going the other way.
Yeah, it was a cam fake, right, Matt? So with the death cam, so giving them the impression that that's where it could be happening. Yella's rotated back over towards A, but the B is where the pressure is. The positioning right now of PGL and his old mate Destiny, they have full control of platform, which is super powerful.
They've given up drop again, though, which means they have to win out. Every time they give up drop like that, it becomes a really big pressure point at long to win the exchanges. They lose them this time. Thankfully, Yell does get inside of the site fast enough. Bomb's going to be planted. It has to be. Oh, he doesn't go for it. He could have actually gone out to deny that potentially as the bomb was being held. He realizes it, after the fact. He didn't have the information. He was early fake. Didn't want to go out and be caught out. So it's Fugly that sits in behind the statue. Good positioning. Sees his arm. Fires a little bit early. EWP going to rush out wide. Gets in behind the flower pot. Well, you might as well plant the flowers at the funeral because Fugly's got the win.
The two top fraggers going head into 1v1 right there.
Yeah.
Good to see.
Both
Fugly,
on 10.
Yeah, Fugly's really standing up in this tournament. I'm very impressed so far. This guy's showing some real talent. It just being like a role player,
He's the experienced player on this team, to be fair.
Sure. I think that's definitely a good way
Daps
to
and
put it.
Peter are reasonably, but he's got to be the most, I would say.
Daps did have that run with Optic, right? So he got a bit under his belt from that one towards the end of things. And Eco going to come in right now from Luminosity. We have that CZ on Yell again. Can do some damage there to silence USPs and was that 2 P250s? I always think the P250 and the P2K look very similar on the little display. Once again, bit of posturing going on. Peter now is just watching that B side on his own with that orb, which isn't really ideal, but Duff's going to find an easy frag. Entry in-game leader. This is what I like to see.
A man of many talents. You like to know all the information and relay it. I get it, Chad. Be the sacrificial lamb. Get an excuse to die early. That was yours as an in-game leader, wasn't it?
No. I just like to set the tempo, right? And it's much easier to lead by example because your teammates have to follow you into trade, right? Like,
Did you do a war cry?
No.
Okay.
Not often. Only on Sunday.
I'd follow. Did a war cry. Yep, let's go.
I don't know what an Australian war cry is. It's probably a shoey nowadays.
It's not the haka. You're not going to just steal New Zealand's.
That's like Polynesia and New Zealand and stuff, right? I don't think we can steal.
Yeah,
We
no,
basically
can't.
claim them as our own. I don't think we can steal that tradition from them.
Yeah. Fair enough. PKL.
I wonder if NRG will start bringing into their
Repertoire.
Yeah, well, so they know that late round there's a lot of presence on platform from the Luminosity players, right? We saw it out of Destiny and PGL in that previous gun round. And they know that drop is almost free if they get that opening kill. It seems like they're happy to give that up. So instead of sending players long, maybe just leave someone there to throw some nades or have presence and send more numbers through drop, right? You can get so much more map control from there. And the duel, I can say, is more favorable once you have that pincer formation happening, right? So maybe that's an adjustment NRG can make. Even though they did win that round in the 1v1, it could have been less strenuous if they opted for more numbers through that drop zone.
It's been a pretty spread out affair in most cases. NRG getting into drop late.
Affairs usually are. You don't want to see them in the same place very often. You might get caught.
Just don't put yourself in a situation where you need to have an affair. Just stay single and then be ready to mingle. Would you like a Pringle?
No, actually. I'm trying to eat less snacks.
I've given in. I'm going for a 10-pound gain this month.
We started this year so positively, didn't we?
We started it with a hashtag we never followed through with,
Yeah.
Chad. I blame you.
Well, we still have half the year ahead of us.
Don't even start with me.
All right, so here's the default again, Matt. Let's lay this one out for you right now. So the T's are just posturing all over the map. They're calling out utilities. Smoke use long, flash here, nade here, etc., etc. All this information is being relayed back to the in-game leader, Daps, who has to compute it while still focusing on his crosshair and then deciding what the best course of action is, right? These are all the things that are happening in the early stages of these rounds. He's going to have different moves, different steps for his players to go through with, and different map territory that is necessary for him to be able to make a decision on where they're going to go. So once you see again, they're just waiting for long, right? Peter's just set up for any aggression. Anyone picks into his crosshair, he's going to make that frag. Anything changes, they're going to relay that information. They're not committed to anything where they're going to find themselves in a problem. And look how quickly the utility is getting spent right now from Luminosity.
Yeah.
They only have a smoke, a Molotov, and a flash left, and we still have 55 seconds left in the round.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not only that, you're down on utility. You've got a glass cannon AWP and no kit. So holding off the site is one of the largest challenges in this play for them. Or in this plan, I should say.
No information.
Molotov gone now as well.
No utility. What have they got going for them right now?
Two-man set up a drop, which means they can strengthen the B site if the hit goes that way. But like you said, the utility's already spent. They're going to jump into it. Daps may make their job easy because Destiny's able to get Fugly, but thankfully Daps had gone by. Evaded him in the smoke. Good shot. Showtime. PKL's in position. So it is all about the exchange, at least at this point. And Peter's got to go aggressive. That's quite a shot to take down Showtime. Allows him to plant the bomb. Little man's going to stay up close to the drop position, and Yell's not even going to contest his AWP. Worth saving, I think.
Yes, please. Something that people may not have noticed there, it was off camera. Yell was stuck in the back of the A site because Little Man was holding him there, right? He was on a bit of a lurk, and we saw that on the pistol round, Little Man pulling 3 players to his presence. So maybe, you know, not having the most frags right now, he's sitting on 4 kills, lost for his team, but the impact that he's had, the players that he's been able to draw and keep away from bomb sites while the objective is being carried out, it's huge, right? You might not always look at that as... when you look at the end of the game, you go, oh, he only had 9 frags. But the impact on 2 rounds, that's huge, right? That's something, you need the rounds. Don't worry about the frags.
It's quite a tenuous situation for him to be in. Trying to stay alive, glass cannon, $0 in the bank.
Here's what they need. They need to probably just save this one, right? Let's just save on this round. Let's just try and maybe use the AWP to find a couple of frags. Oh, they're force buying. This is just silly right now. The only way this works is if NRG do something fast and they're playing up close and they make a gamble stack. What I think they needed to do was save until they had full utility. Once they had full utility, do an aggressive move to take map territory, right? Have maybe a gamble stack towards A with a couple of flashes, smokes, doing a push of some variety. Maybe B, you know, the carpet bomb at B long is super effective. Help you get a bit of territory, push up, get aggressive, look for kills. Do some interesting maneuvers around drop. That's something Renegades really do, that I really like that they do is a boost there. They transition on it and off it whenever Molotovs come in, and they're always pestering in that part of the map. The force buy right now, they haven't gone all in. You know, they're going to be reaching that loss bonus point, so they've also spent a little bit of cash. Armor across the board, a couple of pistols, very limited utility. UMP on Destiny. We do know that's still a powerful weapon, not as powerful as it once was, but I think that could be, you know, a mental thing.
Well, saving the op. See how aggressive he likes to be with it. At this point in time, he's actually going to be quite passive at the chicken coop.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me, right? Unless they want to hold on to this until next round. Like, he needs to be proactive. They need to put him in a position where he can seek out frags.
What's this position?
Oh, that's a spot where we can both get Molotov together at the same time. Let's stay like that.
Like, okay, I'll take the long shot. They push me. You rifle him down. That's not going to work. You're going to have utility there. Yell's already tagged to 18, tagged through the box. It was Peter that took that shot. It certainly sounded like it.
And now what? Like, he's on 18 HP. He's going to be too scared to pick anyway. If he plays in any position like Coop or Statue, he's going to be...
I like that idea. Give away the op. I thought he was going to.
Give it to someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe take a riskier pick with it. I don't know. Like, maybe do a Statue boost, right? That's something which you wouldn't expect. You can't... no one's Molotoving you out of position there. But that doesn't really matter as the Ts are transitioning all the way back over to the A bomb site. They're playing the information game. They're assuming that the AWP is going to stay where they found it at the B site, and he is. And these are the things. These are the gambles you take as Ts or CTs. Once the information is given, hey, do I stick with it? It's like calling someone's bluff, right?
Well, a flash in and a back turn makes things far too easy for Showtime. Fugly gets a response. They walk one out B. No reason. Breezy goes down. It's trying to sell the fake, but at this point they're just losing numbers. They're even going to throw the bomb to Daps. If they give away this round on the back of that play, it would be shocking. They're getting closer to connector. They've picked up a gun. In fact, 2. They've got a UMP to go along with the AK that PKL's wielding.
And a kit.
Going to watch the right angle. Catches them. They're going to jump down like a waterfall, though. So flooding into the site means he can only get 1 shot off. You're right in saying that they've picked up a kit, but where they're already bypassing the first AWP. It's on to Daps, who's now tagged unreasonably low. If I can find him. There he is. Shiz is going to be the one to get the kill. He'll continue to push back towards Stable. Thankfully, Fugly's in a position to catch him off because it could have been Yell in a defusable situation and no one to watch him. Good find on the first pick. He's going to hold this, though, and go down shortly. Had to. No choice. Peter's going to win the exchange. Made it expensive, though, didn't they?
There we go, Dirty Peak Pete. I think that's what they call him. Or maybe that's
Dirty Peak Pete.
Maybe that's what he calls himself.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Not a great nickname. Maybe they can use some revision. Maybe the Frog can help him with a nickname.
Yeah, the Frog's good at them.
All right, so now we have a full buy. We've got the loss bonus going for Luminosity. They've got everything, or almost everything they need. I would still have liked to see everyone with utility to give them a chance. Now, do they have the innovation to try something, an aggressive move. There it is. Yell finding an opening kill, getting traded straight away. Looks like the T's are going to make their way swiftly up middle. Molotov's raining in into the vent room. And keep those CTs at bay, but the bomb has been left. Daps has to go back to collect it. So now, 3-on-4 situation. Still pushing onto the A bomb site. The CTs have already rotated over. Showtime's going to find one onto old mate Breezy. And now Fugly, he's stuck in transition. Are they going to fall back? That early aggression was completely negated by the over-rotation of the CTs and the lack of the C4. It meant they couldn't commit to the site. Now they're going to find themselves in a 2-on-4 situation, picking up that AWP is Fugly. Maybe just waiting for a frag, going to try and hurt the economy right now for Luminosity.
What an interesting Stanley Cup final.
Hockey.
Yeah, first game, Pittsburgh wins it with a flood of a first period and then one of the worst 2 periods I've ever seen.
We did
Got
watch
lucky.
that.
Yeah. Second game, good scoreline for them. I won't say blowout, but they beat Nashville hard enough that Pika got pulled.
Pickle got pulled. Was he playing?
Yeah, Pika in there.
Okay.
Hang on a second, because Showtime's in a good position here. It's kind of important, this kill, because if it goes the Terrace way, they have a chance. Showtime's going to win it. That should spell the end of the round.
Let's get back to hockey.
Yeah, I agree. So, game 3, Preds finally win the game that they should have. They blow out Pittsburgh in that one. Second game at home, same thing. They're the dominant team. And now it's 4-0 for Pittsburgh back in their arena. I almost said stadium, dear God. And, like, we haven't had... Like, all playoffs have been, like, overtime, 1-goal games, and we're just getting, like, blowouts in the finals. It's really interesting, but it's still back and forth.
Do I have to pay for them?
Sorry?
The blowouts.
No, they're free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tickets aren't, though.
So right now they're going to hold on to that AWP. They'll get that back in Peter's hands. There is enough money to do another, I guess, force buy, have some UMPs, maybe Tech9s, do a set execute, because so far it looks like Daps have just been calling the default, right? Map territory, wait for the decisions to be made. Then it was a little bit different because they made that trade and they went quickly up middle. That was impromptu, and you could see that, and the tell of that was the bomb being left behind. Now, they can do one of two things. Mix up the pace, which is what you'd probably be expecting right now if you're Luminosity, or go back to the default, but throw in a little change. You know, maybe mix up a player, put him in a different position. Walk through a smoke that they've been throwing every time that you've been leaving alone. Maybe just a little, just a very small nuance that will catch the CTs off guard, because that's what you need to do to keep them on their toes. Speaking of toes.
What about them?
Apparently my feet smell, Matt.
I told you that.
Yeah, I know.
You were very shocked.
Well, I don't wear shoes very often, so you would think that my feet would get the most aeration out of anybody almost in the world.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, they got a full buy. I was saying Tech9s and UMPs, but it looks like they've got everything. They've got the AKs. Daps is settled for that UMP, and the default is coming in, but, well, it's not the default. Daps is feigning the default over towards A, while the rest of these players are heading towards B, and it looks like they might be doing an execute or maybe an explosion. They've set up now behind the CT's B long smoke, waiting for the opportune moment to strike.
Destiny ooze. No, I doubted. Okay.
What,
He's going to play
pushed?
backside smoke. I thought he was going to. He just had the body language. That's a thing in Counter-Strike. He had the body language that said he was going to push through.
And the server conditions.
I knew you were going to say it. I was going to. Thought I'd leave that one. That would have been a very audacious push, to say the least. So no push through over at A to get information on this, though. But they do have an early rotation backside of the drop. It's Shiz that's going to be playing inside of the window, but changes that as soon as a flash comes through. Can't afford to get caught off with no one really there to help him. More so because PGL has elected to go back out toward the site itself. What are you... Breezy?
Easy breezy cover girl.
Beautiful
cover girl.
Sorry. Easy breezy burned alive. That was interesting that they didn't try and get away from it, but PKL takes down Daps. Fugly wraps in. So this is a play they've been going to a lot.
Ouch.
Get down, drop, run the lane, and wrap back into the site. It's caught them off a few times. It's only worked once. As Yell gets out of the chicken coop after it's been lit of flames, engulfed, but now it's Peter that's going to try and pull this back with 74 HP. It's 2 to find. Yell on the AWP on top of the site. Doesn't have access to the bomb because Peter's even able to pick that up, hold on to it, and go back. I don't think Yell spotted that. He's going to go for it. Somehow, yeah, Showtime's lagged out, I think.
It's a 1v1, yeah.
Because he's been sitting in that spot forever. So it is a one-on-one, and Peter's going to be questioning why that is, but he's already lost. He's already lost. Showtime staying alive wins it, even if he got the kill, because time's gone. So
Yeah.
we should have a timeout here.
I was going to say.
And I'm wondering as well, did Breezy lag out? Because he stood in the Molotov forever, so it would have been one aside.
Yeah. Well, if that did happen, I don't think we can... Well, I'm not even going to speculate. I don't even want to get stuck
Vince
into
lagged out, so there you go. Both of them did.
We won't get stuck into any speculation right now. We'll let the admins do their job, and we'll do our job at talking and trying to be Muppets.
So the interesting thing is that, because that's why I said Breezy, because he went like from full HP almost down in a Molotov.
Yeah.
So he lagged out, and so too did Showtime. Not going to speculate on what the rule set will be on that, because it's one aside and it's kind of interesting. But the just completely unrelated, by some stroke of luck, Showtime actually was still a factor due to the time.
Yeah, he was playing
So-
into Pete's mind, you know. He's thinking, where could he possibly come from? Just makes it more difficult to take that heads-up duel. So he was not there, but he was there in spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how you doing, Chad?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty good. What was the go last night with all that rain? That was nuts.
Yeah, it was interesting. We went inside this little tiny, like,
Piano bar, I think it was called.
it was called Jack's Piano Bar, but they had like AC/DC pictures up everywhere, and they were clearly fans of Jack Daniels. They didn't look happy that we were there.
No,
I think they were trying to just close early and get
a
out.
bit disgruntled. We were the only people in there.
Yeah, I liked it. It was intimate. We could. That's like the kind of place. That was like a smoker's bar back when smoking was allowed, for sure.
I had a coffee, and that kept me awake for a
You
few
did, and
more
I
hours.
had one afterwards because I realized that was a good decision. We were trying to stay awake to get on schedule for this.
We did
We went
good.
inside though, and we came out, and the street was like flooded, and we were like, "What?" It was
Yeah, and
dry
that's
and
when-
warm earlier.
That's when wearing thongs comes back to hurt you, right? Like I'm walking, having
Yeah,
to
because when your
dodge all the
legs
puddles.
sweat and you get a little bit of a butt rub because of that.
No, because my
Oh, you
feet
mean the
could-
sandals.
Yeah,
I'm
my
sorry.
feet could get wet, right? So I want to try and avoid that at all costs.
Yeah,
But
okay.
imagine if someone was wearing Yeezys and they got wet.
I mean, thankfully it would just be rainwater. Like, I'm sure there's some chemicals out there in some waters around the world that could be worse.
If it happened to me, I'd be feeling pretty blue.
Yeah, I could understand that. What color Yeezys would you want to get wet? Black or white?
I think, right, if you got white Yeezys wet in like
You just
pool
wash it and
water,
bleach them.
If it was pool water, it would be okay because it's clean. But if it was rainwater and puddles, white ones would be horrendous.
Yeah, but you could just bleach the white ones. I would bleach a pair of $1,000 Yeezys.
Yeah, because you would want to destroy them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we don't understand that, Matt. But to be fair, we are a little bit older than like when that became. The
I've never
culture.
really been into that level of fashion. Like like high fashion or like really cool streetwear. I could understand it, but like I don't get the.
Well, there's quite a few
like-
style icons in Counter-Strike, right? There's quite a few players
Is
who
there?
are. Yeah, ask Henry. He's got a couple of people he likes to point out as style icons. Who he gets his inspiration from.
In Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
All right. That explains everything about Henry's wardrobe. But as I was saying, like, I don't understand that. Like, I think you can find really cool, cheap clothing that's individualized and not a brand. I always said I never wanted to be a billboard. So, like, I wouldn't wear a shirt
You're
that
like
just says
me.
Nike on it.
Yeah.
Well, you wear a Patagonia shirt.
Yeah,
you
I
are a
s-
billboard.
Well, to be fair, it's a really good quality shirt.
Yeah, but you're advertising for them. You're giving them free advertising.
It's better than advertising for like Billabong or Ripco.
Yeah, 100%. Now, that said, if a swimsuit has it on it, and it's like I'm wearing it out of necessity, like a swimsuit's like an item of clothing you wear for purpose, that's a little different.
For sure.
But if I'm just wearing it casually, it's like, why am I wearing this for you? You know?
Well, are you wearing it for them or are you wearing it for yourself? To empower yourself, Matthew.
You know, I haven't thought about it. That's a deep philosophical question that my life is not ready for.
Maybe that's one that Reddit wanted answered.
Didn't see that one on the list.
I only had a quick little peruse. I didn't get stuck in.
Yeah, I didn't go in either. I try and avoid. I shouldn't say avoid, but I just try and like not go on Reddit as much anymore. In general, just to like free my mind up. I feel like I'm on CS so much that when I like fill my free time up with it too, like reading stuff, I'm just like, where's my mental break? You know?
Matt, I've just discovered something.
Oh, what'd you discover?
So where the van is in CT
I see it
spawn,
rolled.
on the where the van is, right, in CT spawn.
Yeah.
If they just drove through the gate, there's a path that would take them all the way around the back,
Oh, straight to the.
straight to T spawn.
Whoa. Yeah, but the thing is, that's a very, very heavy vehicle. That's probably close to, I would say, it's blocked by a truck.
Yeah, but like they can get past that.
No, they can't. They could run by it. Yeah, as humans.
Yeah,
They'd
yeah,
have
yeah.
to park.
Yeah,
that
of course.
APC probably weighs, I'm going to guess, like, at least 9,000 pounds.
At least.
I would say, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, because it's armored car.
Look,
Someone
I
look it
work
up.
in kilos. I got no idea.
Yeah,
But
so yeah, you're looking a lot of kilos. All right, Chad. Let's just put it that way.
I got them on the scales.
I'm gonna say that thing's. I'm gonna take that back. So I'm gonna say it's around 7,500 pounds.
It's like, this is like when you're in the shopping mall, right?
And you're
there's
guessing
that
the jelly
massive-
beans.
Yeah, the massive jar of jelly beans.
I
And
always got that right, by the way. I won it 2 years in a row at my school.
how?
I don't know, just luck.
I bet it was rigged.
Approximation
was
by
rigged.
no, it wasn't. Approximation by looking at it, just like this APC. I know that my trailer with the race car in it is 7,500 pounds, and the race car weighs 2,775 stripped BMW. So that would be in an aluminum trailer. You're looking at armor car. Yeah, it's going to be more than 7,500 pounds for that van. So my point is, it's also probably diesel powered, so a lot of torque down low, but it's going to be a slow drive around. By the time they drive around, the T's are already going to be in the bomb sites planting. That's where I was going with that.
I was just trying to be silly. Did I succeed?
No, got practical on you.
Okay. Do we want to kind of summarize where we're at or wait until this player's back in before I get stuck back into the Counter-Strike?
We got a social media question. How about that?
I like that.
Pittsburgh just scored again. It's 5-0. Get wrecked, Nashville.
Cavs are down.
Yeah, I don't care about basketball.
Okay. You going to read this one?
If someone narrated your life, who would you want it to be? You first. I know who you're going to say. You first.
I was going to say Morgan Freeman.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say
Well,
it.
my life would be really boring, so Morgan Freeman would have to make it interesting with his beautiful voice.
If someone narrated my life.
I feel like you're just going to go with Henry.
No, actually, I wasn't.
Okay. Yourself.
No, wasn't going to go with that either. I mean, I don't know who I'd go with. The guy who, who passed away, Alan Rickman, Snape.
Oh, yeah?
He would be good.
Yeah.
I think Murray Walker, though.
What about Joe Miller?
Yeah, it'd be hard to decipher his words at times. But yeah, he was a legend.
He'd be fun.
Ooh, Joe Miller. Who else would you bring back?
Tosspot.
We
We need, someone needs to do a tournament where they get Joe, they
Tosspot,
get Tosspot,
D-Man,
they get
Red
Paul,
Eye.
DJ Wheat.
Ooh, DJ Wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Corey Dunn.
Yeah, we saw him recently.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so Showtime's back in. All right, he's back in
Yeah,
the
he's been back
server.
in for a while.
Well, it just said it on my screen.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the other. Oh, I see what's wrong. Little Man's on the wrong side. There we go.
Come
So
on.
Little Man.
Come on, Lil
No,
Man.
you know what I think it is? Here's my guess.
Pull up your pants, little man.
The slots of the overlay for PGL are approximated based on number of players in the server. So 1 to 5 would therefore be CT. And Little Man is number 6, but because there was one missing in the number slots 1 to 5, he became number 5 and was on the CT side.
I can just see Vlad sitting there just shaking.
That's
his
probably
head.
wrong, but I'm going to go with it because
going.
as soon as Showtime joined, he was pushed back over.
Well, let's hope you're right. I don't know why.
Vlad,
Okay.
am I right? Vlad?
I'm going to start summarizing what's happened so far. So it's been relatively back and forth in strings of rounds. And, oh, never mind. We'll continue with this. But the economy off that round has been broken. Peter saving that AWP will be a big factor going into this one. I think they'll definitely force behind that. Once we see him on screen, Peter doesn't look happy. Sighing. Deep breaths. Yes, they're just chilling out. So obviously there's a little bit more happening right now than the headphones are off. Shoes right there. He's playing with his hair. Chilling out. Having a good time. Why aren't they smiling?
I don't really smile much.
Oh,
So-
we go.
Here we go. So the round will be restored because no damage was dealt at the time of the legouts, which actually makes sense because Showtime was standing in the middle of the A site for quite some time, and Breezy, I think, was the first to take damage, dying in a Molotov. So
Yeah.
both teams were affected by it. Even though Luminosity got a win, you could argue that their legout actually helped them get the win because Showtime was still alive. So I think that's fair. I think that's a decent call.
Well, either way, one player from each team went down, right? So
Yeah,
this is the
exactly.
decision that they've settled on, which is fine. I think it's a fine decision to replay this round. You know, it was close in the end, so neither team should be too disgruntled. And now we're going to get back into it and see if we can have a mirror image of last round. I think, you know, the drop presence was the idea coming out from NRG. Will an adjustment come in from Luminosity? That's the big question.
I like questions. Do you know that Crosby has 3 points again tonight? He's good.
Okay. So, Peter this time, it looks like there's a bit of a change in transition right now. We've got Daps over towards B. He enjoys selling these fakes, and I think the reason for that, once I touch on it again, is, you know, the in-game leader, he knows how he wants things done. And when you're not a super well-drilled, structured team, you don't have a lot of depth in the way that you approach the game, as an in-game leader, it's so much better to just do it yourself then ask someone to do something and they do it wrong and they die, they overextend, they don't throw the fake the way you want them to, they don't have the right timing. It's just not what you need. So here we have all 5 members posturing over towards that A site. Showtime and old mate PKL. They're playing together towards, I guess, the A long area of the map where they're about to find a lot of contact, Matthew.
PKL. Is it going to be him baiting in Showtime, or the other way around, or funneling him with Molotov? Showtime takes the first few kills. That means PKL's got a repeat, but everyone's gone at long. They're down low, so he won't be able to get an additional frag. Daps only gets 1, though, meaning Luminosity. They've got a man advantage, Chad.
And that's where you want to be every day of the week. Peter now, though, has a lot of, I guess, chance to find a player in transition right now from Luminosity. Pushed all the way up A long. And the other 2 players... Breezy, sorry, and Daps are just posturing behind him, waiting for any action that could happen. Both players from Luminosity playing very rooted in that A site. They did the same thing on B on Cache earlier, and they seem to let them come in, you know, make them waste their time, make them have the sound cues, and once they get to that site, the fight is on. Yell rotating in, as Peter looking towards Romeo/Juliet.
Good swing from Breezy to get the shot at the cannons. Taken back by the player at Romeo, but they still managed to cross over. They haven't counted for the player above them in the site, though. Shiz able to get a kill. Luminosity get the round anyway. So even though we replayed it, same result effectively.
Yeah, just Peter doesn't save his AWP, right? And
True.
That's the only downfall, really, for NRG. They still lost the round. And Fugly, Lil Man, they're going to invest in some armor and pistols. It's going to be a full buy coming out from everyone else. Yes, it is. They're fully investing in this round map. I think the biggest opportunity for them right here is to really ruin the economy of Luminosity and push them across the line. Potentially going to grab a 10-5 if they win this one, because Luminosity's economy will be absolutely destroyed. And it looks like it's going to be a fast replay coming in.
Ooh, Shiz. He is the Shiz. Takes down 2 plus the assist. PKL grabs the one that he doesn't. And it's just PTR.
Yeah, I know that they were finding drop zone as a bit of a weakness, but that almost seems like a tilt call, right? It's like, well, you know, things didn't go our way, so let's just rush drop. That's not really, like, I know that was a weakness, but they could have done it a little bit later. They could have waited for utility to be used. They could have done what they were doing before, maybe fake a little bit of default with a flash and a smoke here, there, and everywhere, and then gone for drop, and gone with what was working. And they tried to catch them off guard, and they were... That's their first real change of pace from spawn. They've had changes of pace when they've had entry kills or trade kills, but this is the first time it seems like they've been willing just to go fast because that's the call.
Oh, good timing on the flash. Yell nearly got caught by that as well because he gets stuck going through the door. He's very fortunate that no one was peeking against him and didn't have the weaponry to do so. Could have been exactly the opening pick they were looking for. Tries to locate the player he'd spotted by snapping at the doorway. No one's going to be there to grab it on the other side. There was someone close by, but not exactly where he aimed.
See, that's that presence that I'm talking about. He takes that shot. Now, to re-pick that for the T's, they have to use a lot more utility. Smoke goes down, obscures vision. He does see one jump across, so they know that danger is open. Showtime is aware. He puts down the smoke himself. This is where things get dangerous. If he gets closed in on here, the rotation might come in, but it's slowed down. As Little Man adapts, they've taken the territory they want. They put the CTs on notice. They push them back into the bomb site. Still on a 3-2 formation. PKL, a lot of information over towards long, and it's just slowed right down now as the T's appear to be going towards A. Bomb in the hands of Peter.
Good play, Destiny. Bomb in the hands of Peter. He's the only one left, though, this time, so really don't expect that bomb to go anywhere except for into the grave with him. I wouldn't mind being buried with a bomb.
Okay, like a bombshell of a woman?
Yes.
Like as in
You
like,
nailed
okay.
it. Almost, yeah, like a smoke show.
Oh, I didn't thought that was going somewhere grim then. Yeah, okay, so you want to be Egyptian.
Yeah.
Because you get like buried with like your cats and your wives. And
Yeah, well, dog in my case. 8-7.5. Chad?
bit of a dog fight.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. Speaking of dogfights, Tom Cruise has another movie that's apparently coming back out next year. I shouldn't say back out.
Do we get free tickets to The Mummy for promoting it?
Ooh, you know what? I think we should. You know, I was supposed to be Tom's stunt double, but then he just did all his own stunts, so I never got a job.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I think I watched like the stunts he did in that Mission Impossible movie. He's just nuts. Okay, never mind. We won't get too stuck into that. That could go anywhere. All right, lots of armor right now on the NRG boys. It looks like they're sending Peter out for information. He's not going to see any as the T's are going to hide. They're going to wait. They're going to sit behind the wall. And with the smoke and 2 flashes, it looks like a B fake would be the plan right now. Dap's not afraid to take a duel, though.
Reloaded the gun. At the same time, the flash comes through, so it doesn't really mean that he's affected by it in some ways because he wasn't peeking. Couldn't be taken down. He's trying to get baited in to a duel at the close corner from long. He'll backpedal away. And Shiz won't get the fight that he wants. Little man was watching drop the whole time, so they couldn't walk out that direction. I have a feeling this is still going to be B, but there's 2 players from Luminosity at least evaluating or waiting to see if there'll be any aggression at A to look for information.
Someone have some gusto. This is not. Both teams had very similar T-side approaches, right? They postured, they waited for CT aggression, which is fine. You don't want to get flanked, but that play they're doing over towards long with the flashing, hoping to push the player off, it worked in this regard. But if you're versing a better player who doesn't respect you, 2 flashes, they're not doing anything. He's going to repeat. He's going to take your head off, and drop is about to be taken. No action. They're so passive, Matt.
Are they?
Well, I don't know. Maybe not in person. Maybe they're a bit bitchy, but...
Well, right now, it's all breezy. Holding off drop. There's still another exchange to be found over toward the drop room, but it's on the E-box side, so Daps wins that. NRG take a pistol. Still game 1 of our best of 3. Could put themselves in a good position if they can convert all of these rounds. No bomb plant out of that either.
Didn't close any territory to take a single duel because NRG were playing off everywhere, right? It's just, I guess, a poor choice. It's a bit of a coin toss. Are we going to go out towards Connector? Or are we going to go out towards the B site? And they chose wrong because Breezy was waiting, trying to make it look easy, grabbing 2 cheeky kills. 4 spy coming in right now from Luminosity. They've got 1 smoke, 2 flashes, a couple of Tech 9s, a Deagle, and a P250 versus the old famous 3 UMPs. That's the most I think I've seen bought in a while, and a M4. Ouch. Early damage on the little man who gets isolated, does actually get TK'd by Peter, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, and now Peter's pressure's on. He's dropping back. 2 players are rotating to back him up, and the T's are ready. They pushed all the way up long.
I told you I was going to make you do play-by-play.
I'm not good at it. Why are you throwing me under the bus?
That's just what I do. I gotta see if your body's resilient enough to get run over by a dual-axle bus and survive.
This isn't my forte.
Oh.
This is a much better way to watch the game, though, because I can do whatever I want right now.
Yeah, you can actually. You can jump around the server. You can tell me how many chickens there are in T-spawn. And I can tell you that NRG is quite content with their man advantage, but Yell's been able to pick up at least a gun to work with. And that gun's going to be menacing because Peter's now gone down. This becomes a little bit more problematic. They won't be able to get Peter's gun.
Yeah, but, I'm mad at that play. So, okay, they're down a man, right? But they still have a gun, but they're not using it as a team. He's just doing something individual. Sure, he gets a frag. Okay, great. Thumbs up, mate. But what happens if you die? 9 times out of 10, okay, you're going to lose that fight. You lose that fight, now it's a 2v4, and your teammates are left without the weapon that you just had, and they have to make something happen.
So Yell smartly throws the gun over to Shiz, keeps the gun rather more of a factor because he's got 100 HP. Good flash, but I think that spotted the hand sticking out beforehand, and Breezy should be able to hold this off. They gave the bomb back the other way, therefore, to hope that Yell would run in and get a plant, and the other 2 with high HP could take the duels, but it won't come to that. I did not realize, is that a Bison? No. Maybe it was the UMP that sits on the front of the CTs?
What?
Look.
Oh,
there.
yeah, they hold it on their chest.
Yeah, I didn't realize they did that. I don't know why I never noticed. Maybe because I just never really looked to see a bright green gun before.
And it's not really an important detail.
It's really not.
No one will blame you for this.
You'd be surprised with people. That's the bomb left in T-spawn, Chad. How angered are you right now?
It doesn't matter.
They're going back for it. Listen, be optimistic.
One guy's bought a P250 instead of a flash to close territory and maybe grab a frag. So we got 4 Glocks
and they're going to do what you watch. No man's going to go down. I'm telling you right now.
If he goes down. Dude, just get out of there. What are you doing?
Well, he got the kill.
Yeah, I know, but his aim looked terrible. Well, worse than mine.
I was going to say, I don't know if it did. But we'll split the difference on that one. Peter goes back into the same position and finds the next kill, so you're right, they won't win this one. Maybe the bomb should have been left in spawn. What do you think of that decoy bomb idea from James?
I think the frog's gone insane.
Yeah, he's certainly not a toad.
He needs to jump right over that idea.
I hate this UMP, by the way.
What's wrong with it?
It's designed to make it look... I talked about this in Dallas.
Okay, we won't get sucked
There's polygons on it. It's designed to look like it has more like of a 3-dimensional depth to it, but they're designed in a 2D way that doesn't actually work with the dynamic lighting of the game, which therefore just looks cheesy.
So you're a shapist.
That's not a thing.
It is now. PKL, 4 frags, not doing fantastic for his squad. On the other side, Fugly once more, a bit of a carry effort, 17 frags for this little bad boy. Peter with 14 of his own. Old mate Breezy with 12. So top heavy on the NRG side. Okay. Here it is again, the default spread. We've seen so much of this. This is the good thing about the default spread, Matt, is it shows that these teams have that down pat. This is something which I was telling Henry earlier, right? This is what the in-game leaders of this level bring. They bring that to the table, right? Okay, we know how to run a default. We know how to relay information to our in-game leader. It just becomes more difficult to use your pieces properly because at default, you're not actually using your pieces. All you're doing is collecting information, grabbing map territory with routines or moves, and then from there making a decision into an execute.
Wow.
Like that flash. This is like my go-to kind of setup a year and a half ago. This is it, exactly it, right? The only thing they're not doing at the same time is pressuring A-long and pushing players back. You can do both at the same time relatively easily with a couple of Molotovs, a flash. Daps boosted up could be very dangerous right now for old mate Pickle. He might get put in a jar.
It's sealed away, never to be eaten until the Christmas after the one it was given to you. But if you steal it, someone will yell at you because they weren't your pickles to steal. Good play, Destiny.
I don't know what
It's
happened.
just a very personal reference, don't worry. Showtime's going to take down Little Man. And that actually works out well for Luminosity to start going in toward the site. Bomb should be planted with relative ease. They're working in a pack like the Wolves that Henry G leads. He's the Wolf, right? That's, yeah, okay.
Henry's the wolf.
Yep.
James is the frog. Anders is obviously the bear.
The bear, the panda bear. Pander's bear.
Jason is the vulture.
Yep. Yeah. What other animals do we have? Is that it?
I'm the beaver.
I knew that. And then I'm the lobster. Little lobster.
Little lobster. No issue coming out of his shell.
Well, there will be a timeout called in the next round. I'm not surprised at all, and I think that's going to be from the NRG side. So I'm going to try and save these guns. Breezy does well to take down PGL. This game is definitely still wide open. This is Luminosity's first round of the second half, and it comes on the first gun, so not a bad situation for them to be in. Look at Shiz. Well, maybe don't. His aim is not worth looking at because he goes down. Peter's able to survive. They do keep the guns. Thankfully, Peter with 4 HP.
Yeah, that's a bit rough. I always hated shooting players in the back, especially on pistol rounds. One of the weirdest things to do, right?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that little red bar at the top when it's beeping as the bomb's about to explode, if someone looked at it, they could have an epileptic fit?
No, that's not enough, and it's also not bright enough to overwhelm everything else.
Okay. Well, just asking.
I don't think that's a thing.
They're going to be able to scrape together a buy here.
Tell you what, if you have epilepsy, why don't you just stare at that for us and let us know?
Yeah. Tweet in from the hospital. All right, we're going with the.
This got dark.
We're going with the 5 AKs once again for Luminosity. That means, you know, they know that weapons were saved, so they have to keep that in their mind. They take a risk. They do something fast. They try and close the distance, and hopefully they catch NRG in the middle of a gamble, or do they default again and be extremely boring and do fundamentally correct, fundamentally right, fundamentally proper.
Yes.
Fundamental Counter-Strike. Do the right thing, make decisions, do all that kind of jazz, and that's what they're going to do. All that jazz.
Yeah, Chicago.
Yeah, that's a pretty good musical.
Little Man.
I want to see the Book of Mormon.
It was very expensive when we were in New York last year. I imagine it will be this year as well.
Even my mum saw it, and she thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it seems good. Fortunately, I spent all my money on depreciating value. As Destiny's going to take down Breezy. Still holding off the E-box. He's got company outside of the door, but he may not anymore. Daps goes down quite quickly. And he turns around to watch the window where Peter's going to try and take back the position. Smoked off. He can't do much. Pistol does get the kill, however. They converge upon his position. However, that said, bomb goes down, and it's the T's that have the advantage. Only just Shiz, 10 HP.
Matt, they had the chance to set up the triangle. They didn't do it.
Trifecta of doom. Chad.
1 plat, 1 statue, 1 coup. The triangle. I don't know why you're not setting that up every day of the week.
Just trifecta of doom. But they're still winning the exchanges.
Yeah, they're going to win. They basically have some form of the triangle-ish.
The flying V. The reverse flying V. Peter puts his head down and wonders, hey, why am I still not being shot? Because he's backed off. Peter's not going to be able to find him. Oh, I like this, though. I like it. Just fire.
Look at this.
Just fire, Peter. Just take the shot. Oh, he's right beside him. The knife's not hitting. No way. No way. I was going to say there's absolutely no way he gets that. Yell does find him in the end. And saves it.
That was silly.
That's
I thought you were going to make a reference about ducks because you said the flying V, and then you could have said, well, Peter's keeping his head down. He's doing a duck dive.
Ah, look at that. Chad one-upping me. That's not bad, Chad.
It takes me a while, but I get there.
I don't know if
in
you
the
realize it's in my contract. You're not allowed to play with my jokes.
end. Sorry.
It's okay. That's fine. But yeah, this was kind of interesting.
Bit of a cluster.
He thinks the bomb's actually behind him, and then he realizes, or in front of him, and then he realizes, oh wait, it's over here. Slash, done. Get wrecked.
Why are knife kills so comical?
Humiliation.
I suppose. All right. Okay. Here comes the eco. Got a deagle on old mate Breezy. 2 flashes on little man. That's what I like to see. Flashes will be used, but no frag is going to come in from that exchange. They're pushing out, getting mopped once more. Showtime grabbing 2. Pickle with 2 of his own, and then Showtime, he'll actually get 3. So I can count. Come at me, Blue. And it's a 10-11 scoreline right now in favor of NRG, who are going to get the guns back up, but they're still in a very tenuous position right now, Matt. As they lose a round, they still have the loser bonus building up, but the game's slipping.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Name it. Seal.
Okay. Anyway, it looks like a B play's coming in right now. Pickle is doing a jump smoke from spawn, if I am correct. He's got that lined up. That'll be interesting to see where that one goes. Peter with the drop aggression. I love to see it. Boosted up with the AWP right now. Trying to take a duel. Will he find it? It is definitely a B executors. You see those T's posturing towards long, throwing their nades. And Peter grabbing a nice kill on a Pickle. Jumps down. Job is done.
And Peter
it doesn't
keeps
matter.
doing it.
I'm still in the game.
Every time Peter... Oh, we're back in the game.
Fugly and Breezy trade out 2 frags of their own. Showtime grabbing one onto Daps, but quickly mopped up as it just leaves Yell screaming as his body hits the floor.
Maybe we're saying his name wrong. Maybe it's like Scream, where we are supposed to go, ah! We're supposed to yell.
It's not capitalized.
Oh, so it'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, Showtime's quite loud.
Is he?
Yeah, no. His name's in capital.
Oh, right.
That started out really well from Peter there. He got lucky that PKL was still in spawn throwing that jump smoke. So he grabbed him joining his teammates after throwing that and kicked off the round nicely for the
It's
NRG
6-0 now.
Okay.
That's insane.
That's pretty cool. All right,
Cool,
default
man.
spread. This is a default spread again, Matt. This is what we're seeing again. Posturing, spamming off a position, same old, nothing new. Are we going to see a transition from Peter again or someone else to be relatively aggressive? That's the question at hand. And I know you like questions, so feel free to answer.
You know what? I think life's greatest questions come in the form of questions.
I thought you were going to say like left unanswered or something.
No. The best philosophical question in the world is still why.
It's quite deep.
Why?
Exactly. Little kids are like crazy for that question, eh?
Yeah, they want explanations.
They mop information.
Well, they pretend to. They're good actors. Just like Little Man, who's acting conspicuous in the corner. Canadian that he is.
I assume you know him then, because you're both from the same country?
Yeah, definitely. He only lives 18,000 kilometers away from me.
Yeah, look, people do that to me as well, Matt. It's really ridiculous.
I know, it's pretty sad. That said, we've got a Molotov that's going to go out in that direction, but a flash comes through first. He's only going to check partway through, and that flash, Destiny should realize, means that someone's likely up close. Flash back in, Little Man still wins the duel. Nearly gets away with more, despite flashes going against him rather than for. As Peter, he's going to make sure he walks out from the wooden door. He takes down Yell with the pistol, back around. He's got the AWP in position, but a headshot from Shiz keeps himself in this equation. An equation by which he is divisible by the number. Rather, wait, he can divide. How does that work? He's half of what the enemy is. He's in a 1 versus 2, Chad. You didn't save me there, but Shizmate saved himself. Bomb gets planted. 28 HP. Kill on to Breezy. And he's trying to play the time and the position, but a good nade from Daps. Knew he was tagged up. He'll take the round.
The Shack? Not the
Shack
Shack.
dump.
Shack has been teaching them
How to dunk?
how to dunk. Sorry with the maths question you threw at me. Maths was never a strong suit.
Don't worry about it.
So that's the money for with that plant is what I'm trying to say. Luminosity will have enough to force a buy if they want to. If they want to take a save, get full utility, that could be an option as well. They are going to take a tactical timeout or a timeout of some variety here to discuss their options. Which there are many.
It's Steve Miller Band, not sealed. Damn.
Oh,
Sorry. Keep
doesn't
going.
matter. You can be wrong.
Yeah, keep going.
Do whatever you want, Matt.
I do actually. That's literally what I do.
Showtime's having a pretty good game, 20 on frags. Just to discuss what happened in that round, when Little Man plays so disjointed from his teammate, so close middle, if he's able to grab a frag and delay, you know, force out that duel, that next fight into a longer trade, it allows his teammates to rotate in. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to play that up front, and you don't always need a teammate to help you. The understanding just needs to be from you. You need to make sure you get a frag. You need to really play for that one kill. If you can do that, you've done your job, and it allows your teammates to rotate in because it's early information. At that point, once the Ts have left the area of the map I like to call trap, once they've pushed up that ramp and it's late in the round, they're committed.
Are you a committed man?
Currently, yes.
Oh, well done. Peter with the AWP. At this point in time, he's going to take that to long. And Peter's the aggressive type, so he'll definitely peek. He already has. He'll back off. Meanwhile, they're not spotting anyone. They need to be cautious of B because it's a fast contact play, and Yell takes down Daps. Flash very narrowly took them both into blindness, but works out in his favor. Nonetheless, it's the response from NRG with 3 rounds to go to close out the map. And a man advantage that's now negated by the fact that Showtime got down drop late to find Breezy in the statue. They're very timid and hesitant to get the bomb back, but that's exactly what they have achieved.
As long as Luminosity don't panic right now, they should be able to get the bomb down without losing a man and potentially set up a decent after-plant position. Showtime is in a very forward area, and a boost is coming into drop right now. He might hear it if they do mess this up. It sounds like he's going to get away with it. So Fugly's going to come in the flank. Utility on Lil Man to be expended to draw the attention. But this position by Showman could be very... Showman? Showtime. Showman.
Showman.
Whoa! Could be very effective. And it is. Strikes.
Good play. In beside the wall, but Peter can't get the pistol in time. Showtime is going to win the round. You combined Little Man and Showtime, but Showtime's the only one left standing, and he's going to make it 11 rounds for Luminosity. Money in the bin.
What was the wrestler's name?
As Henry would say.
Was the wrestler's name Showtime? The Big Show. The Big Show.
The Big Show?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The wrestler, WWE.
Oh, don't ask me. Don't watch that.
Well, I don't watch it either, but as
I think one of the commentators banned me because I said he was desperate to stay relevant from quoting Smash commentators.
he muted you.
He blocked me on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, he was doing that. Some people are tools.
Yeah.
Just
Some of them are O-tools.
Yeah, we both went to the same place. So. All right, save round coming in right now from NRG. Couple of pistols. Fugly's invested heavily here, Matthew. You only have $700 left in the bank. You're not buying a Rolex with that much money.
No, you're certainly not. You can't even get Yeezys, in fact. Well, maybe you can.
Cheap ones.
Yeah, knockoffs. So, interesting fact of the minor thus far, which you may actually expect to happen more with the lower tier teams because it's a bit sloppier, but maybe they're just not as individually skilled. We haven't seen as many eco wins.
Thank God.
No, I agree, but it's not like anything's really changed other than the players.
To be completely fair, the Counter-Strike that I'm seeing out of both NRG, Luminosity, Complexity as well to some extent, they're just rocking the default and trying to play the information game, right? And making the correct decision based off what they're finding, which is good. You need this base. The problem is, it's not very exciting.
No, you know, that's why we're here, though, Chad. To make it exciting, just like Daps will, another Canadian in the corner. Should have stuck with the pistol. Showtime jumps out, manages not only having Daps gone down to Destiny to walk through the doors cleanly, but take down a kill immediately after. As Peter does the same to Shiz. Back to the AWP. We all live in a Yell AWP. That doesn't really work.
I wonder if Daps is going to come out swinging next round because you don't put Baby in a corner.
Yeah, that one's a little obvious sometimes, so I avoided it. It's
it was
fine.
a reach.
No, it's a reach around. Swinging.
Yeah,
Big right hook.
Fugly looks like he wants to hold on to this armor, which is really important because of how much he invested, right? So he got just some Kev and CZ, so he expended quite a lot of money. He needs to hold on to it for next round if he wants to have any chance of a decent buy, right? Otherwise, he's going to be up Struggle Street.
Struggle Street. That's where I wake up every Saturday morning.
Bomb will go off. Showtime still leading the way for his team. Yell chiming in. Bit of a duo going on there. And this is where the chance to mix up the pace once more from Luminosity comes in. The string of rounds that they've had going for them was based off of that fast B, where they were able to grab that entry and grab the bomb site. And then that default where they were on eco, right? And then just traded out efficiently, took the bomb site, got it down. So right now, could be a bit of a mix-up of pace, but I don't think that'll be the case as Yell has the AWP.
Something to yell about. Whoa. Whoa.
We are
teleportation
halfway across the other side of the world. So
Yeah, we're pretty close to almost exactly halfway. I'm willing to say. I think, so let me think about this. They would be 10 hours time difference from us to them, I think.
7 to Atlanta. Another eco coming out from NRG, so they're happy to concede the tie. Get to 13-13. And all even. Squids.
Squids.
Go on, Squids.
A squid used to be kind of like a SERP.
Okay.
SERP was like a girl online forums that used to talk to all the dudes, and then a squid was a guy that was like flirtatious with all the girls, typically in online communities.
Okay.
Don't ask me how I know. Little man.
AXQ, Matthew.
Yeah, tagged up to 44. He's back in the corner. You said nobody puts him there.
No, no one puts
rounds.
there.
Oh, right. One round, and then they got a reset. They bait Fugly in. It was a nifty style play, but it doesn't quite work out. PKL gets the better of the kills, and therefore they can start to work in toward the site. They can waltz in.
Nifty plays for Renegade Sam, Matt.
I knew you were going to... Oh, God, Chad, come on. What's the bomb code?
I don't know. Yanko does.
7355608. Yeah, he quoted it while we were on a plane.
On a plane. Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, so I have this really fun game. One of us has a suitcase with a bomb in it. Oh.
We were on
Sorry,
rain delay,
Yanko?
and he was like trying to come up. He literally, oh, breezy, wow. He literally prefaced the game by saying like, yeah, it's probably not appropriate for our setting. We're like, okay, go on. Yeah, one of us has a suitcase with a bomb in it, and then like you have to get clues and you have to ask questions, but you can't. So you can't just say the code is 7355608. And we're like, you're getting real specific here, even though we know that's CS. Yeah, it was an awkward moment. 13-13.
Eastern European talking about bombs on an airplane.
Let me see your passport, sir. Okay, we're going to detain you.
At least we would have gotten off the plane then.
It's true,
Alrighty,
yeah.
this is the most important round. Let's get serious, man, because we've been taking the mickey a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, here's the chance for NRG to buy up. That aggression they had from Peter, you know, getting up, boosted up into drop, going for that pick, that was nice. What other moves do they have? Cobblestone. People are always reaching for different tactics to take map territory. I like the carpet bomb towards B long. Sorry, I think that's quite a nice tactic. Takes a lot of preparation. You need to have that move well dry around, well timed. Everyone needs to understand their roles in that. So a little bit more difficult than just a drop boost. Or a retake potential. Something I like to do is playing a retake B setup. Play someone window side, play the AWPer in connector, AWPing into the site. When the Ts take it, if they do a different kind of strategy, you might grab one as they cross to the bomb site. 3 players close towards A, 2 close towards mid, 1 close towards A long. When they do hit B, you have 2 on the flank instantaneously. It's something which, you know, bit of a gambit, bit of a gimmick.
Gambit's not in this tournament, Chad.
Here we go. Once more.
It's quick. It's quick. Molotov toward long. Little man's going to be anchored here. They're actually going to pull 3 in that direction, but bomb over closer at least to B. I'm going to use more utility. So an early fake to try and hold it. Contain players, showtime. Takes out Showman. As you said, Chad. And therefore, that early kill, that's going to bring another rotation back and hold them at A. They're a 2-2 split, and this is going to be a B hit. Anything would you like to add at this point in time? Because the action's about to heat up, so I'm going to have to take over again.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Give you about 10 seconds, you sure?
I'm happy for you to keep talking.
All right. Peter flashed off, goes back up. They continue to inch their way up the B tunnel. 2 at drop, though. They're going to get flashed in, I believe, by PKL. Or not. It looked like he was positioning himself to do so. He's just watching the flank at this point in time. So Peter backs off to Chicken Coop, which might be the better decision here because he has to watch out toward drop, but smoked off already. He has to now be happy with his position. He seems to be. Takes down Destiny. Perhaps that smoke was Destiny, so that it put him in the right position. He nearly shot his teammate in the back, Yell, but instead his teammates get the kill without his need, and all going to be up to the flank. If Dap starts it off well, but they know where he is, do they take the bomb and rush it to A, or they go safe plant hold for the long corner? The Daps just try and do the I fake drop because that was not enough timing to go around to drop anyway.
Yeah, would have had to have waited like a little bit longer, maybe for the T's to have changed position right now. He's in a hopeless spot, man.
Yeah, he is. Already shoulder-based one shot out there. Notice what the Opera is. Has no idea what the second player is. It is a weak position from Chicken Coop, given how sprayable it is, but the flash comes out. He didn't see it. Now he's actually got a chance. He didn't see the flash, though. If he saw it, it's solved. Done. He covers this whole round off, but Shiz gets away with one there, and Daps gets taken down.
Daps backwards is Spad.
Spad?
Spad.
Which rhymes with?
Chad. And here I am, this deep in the tournament. This deep in the map. 28 rounds deep. You can't get much deeper than that.
No, you can't really.
scraping together a buy. NRG. 4 UMPs and a FAMAS. A little bit of utility spread out, a couple of kits. They have enough to make it work, but they have to force a fight. They have to hope that Luminosity changes the pace and they get up close, take a duel, have a bit of a biff, and have some advantageous trades. Once again, the default spread. Showtime. Pickle over towards A. Shoes, Yell, and Destiny posturing towards B. Information being relayed right now. Super reserved. They don't want to take any risks. They don't want to give anything away. They're playing this by the book. Fallen would be proud.
Yeah, they would be. What kind of book is it?
It's probably online. I don't think it's like an actual book. Maybe it's like an ebook.
Can I get it on my Kindle?
I'd say so.
Nice, I'll get it. I'll read it.
So you see this position right here by the player on stairs, Matt, just close to the broken wall. This is Daps. When the execute, or if the execute comes in, he's in a perfect position. Nice little one-way there. But to jump up and cause chaos, right? Because that UMP, you don't want to let them get into an advantageous dueling position. When you take the fight, you get up close, you really make it even at that point. Maybe you even have the advantage.
Nade does
Nothing
somewhat.
at all.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's a lie. It took Destiny down to a 79 HP.
Negligible.
All right, Chad.
Here's the execute map. This is all you.
All right, this is it. This is where they start into the war. Daps doesn't jump up to cause chaos, but down below in the alleyway, he still has movement mechanics to his favor. He's got to kill him backed off somehow? That baits Showtime a little bit too far out because Breezy gets the kill in return. We could be going 14-14. They've got the advantage. CT side bomb dropped as well inside the broken wall. Ooh, and what a shot on the famous FAMAS.
Yeah, don't anyone tell you that gun can't do work. It can do work.
It's your turn again now.
Okay, so an interesting thing there by Luminosity was they did that execute, but somebody went out before I think enough utility was used. He just went down really quickly. Nobody was close enough to trade, and the duels just kept coming in. I'm really envious of the way that NRG are able to sit rooted in the bomb site and find frags like that, even though they have a lot of things going against them. You know, no utility, lesser weaponry, but able to play around the smokes and flashes that are being used and use that to their advantages. Peter is going to take a nice little pot shot there. Information once more that the AWP is in the hands of these CTs. Lil Man being pushed back, having to use that Molotov earlier. Now they just transition. They bring Peter over, they swap spots, but stick together. Peter looking down to danger for anyone who might want to encroach up middle where he's left open. And the rotation is coming over by none other than Fugly. The 3-man A stack is on right now, but the transition from the terrace is actually back to what B is. Lil Man will find a kill, and that's going to be a lot of information, right? So he now knows there's nobody else in middle. If he pushes down to seek anything, Fugly can cheat back over, but will it be too late? As the smokes and flashes are heading into drop room, the teaser taking back some map control.
Yeah, you're pretty good with that dramatic voice, Chad.
Thanks.
You're welcome. PKL, Breezy down. Just with the wind with that shot. As it's now Destiny, the factor in this on 8 HP is the offsetting man who can try and find some information. Shiz is the one that gets found first, though, so you can almost argue that NRG has the favor working back into the site. Kits on all 3 players. A smoke to work with on the defuse that's in the hands of Little Man. Oh, Fugly's done well. Second kill for him. Finds Showtime. PKL with 8 HP, or rather 100 HP, excuse me, has to play off his teammate Destiny, who managed to get a kill, not just the information. That allows him to walk back out and capitalize. And it puts pressure on Peter. AWP in hand. I think this goes map point Luminosity rather than NRG. Or does it? Because it is the 8 HP now for Destiny. He's got to play the time perfectly. Quick tap. 12 HP for Peter to work with on the reverse side of it. And he should have just held that because he gives himself no chance. He's also going to lose his operating now. Okay, he's just barely 3 HP.
And a dream. Showtime is a very unselfish player. When you see him swing out from behind the statue, I don't think his intention was to get a frag. It's because the teammate pushed up close but would have been blind, and he wants to help as much as possible, right? He wants to make it... He always seems like he's doing things for his teammates, and it seems to be working. He's got 29 frags. It probably was a mistake in that situation because he was... the teammate who was pushed up wasn't really part of the crossfire. He was there to disrupt the retake that was coming in. Luckily, it paid off because otherwise Showtime might have looked like he had a bit of egg on his face by swinging out from that statue. Nobody wants that, especially scrambled eggs. Or pies. Still, both teams, you know, this is the same story as Keish. We had like economic struggles for both squads throughout, and they continued to buy in low buys, a lot of UMPs.
Can I
yeah.
Finish your point?
No.
I was going to say, I see a debate right now about the bomb timer that's being used. I actually like it.
Which bomb timer?
The red line at the top of the screen that pulsates. I like that it gives you an indication as to you'll see it.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm just
It gives you an
curious.
indication that there's very little time left, but it doesn't give away the suspense. The Star Ladder one was cool, but it was almost too much because you instantly knew if he had it or not before he got on it, before the player did.
Yeah, it doesn't actually tell you the
It
time.
doesn't. That's right, because it's like it's not really clear. It still says like you as a viewer understand how close it is, but you don't know. And I think that you could argue like, oh, well, that already exists. I think this is just a more representational way of doing it.
Well, Matt, it's a big change of pace right now from Luminosity. They've just basically walked up A long, had no resistance, able to grab an early frag onto Lil Man on the bomb site and get that C4 down. 4 players from NRG left in a horrible position.
I love the position that Showtime has, though, to be fair. In behind the APC, cuts them off as soon as they drop down from Romeo. PKL's still trying to fight on, but it's just Fugly remaining, and it is a Fugly situation to be in. As it's 16-14, all 30 rounds.
Just the way we like it.
To the point where it says it's OT1, 1 of 6, but no, it's not. Do I look fat on this camera? Or is it just me?
Fat. I haven't put on much more weight than I thought I would have. But
I definitely have an
let's get back to the game because we just keep talking about random stuff. Showtime, probably the MVP of that one. Lots of impact frags, playing a very unselfish brand of Counter-Strike while still making kills. The force buys coming in from each team, they kind of had to do it when you're getting that late in the half. But I think all in all, that's what we expected. That's what their first game in the best of ones was like, and it's transitioned to the best of 3. So we've got a pretty good series ahead of us.
Do you know what I like about this whole group of casters and analysts that we have?
Tell me.
Well, it's not always true because you and I are really the only ones that are able to swim the entire part of our lives. James starts that way, but then he can't swim after a certain period of time. So we are the only truly underwater aquatic creatures. And that, back over to you on the desk.
Yes, but eventually I become a prince, so I think that makes
That's a toad,
me a
isn't it?
winner. Yeah, that earlier yeah. I'm kind of like a toad.
Yeah, look like facially, sure.
Oh, brilliant.
Got him.
You did. Nice. Actually, yeah, I used to look like a toad. Now I'm
Really?
a prince.
Okay, that's fair. There you go. You turn it around. Good
What
job.
was your highlights from that match?
I like
Was
Showtime.
Was it?
Oh, you actually got a list for me. Okay.
Was it
Sorry.
Showtime, little man? Or
Why are you doing that? Okay.
Well, I'm out.
they started that?
I'm dying.
I'm laughing because all I can hear is Moses in the other room.
Okay.
Okay. Or was it the Big Show singing?
The Big Show is pretty good. Showtime Little Man was quite nice as well. You can see it's getting late here. But yeah, I think Showtime generally, he was a fantastic player. You have to say that was a game of 2 halves, James, wasn't it? Like the fact is there was tip and tap, back and forth. You couldn't really see who was running away with it. But yeah, that was impressive throughout. Fugly, also another great performance from him. This is the best of 3. And as you suggested going into this one, that the best of 3, just playing one, back-to-back best of 3s might be a little bit troublesome for them. Which seemed to be the case so far. What are your thoughts on that so far?
Yeah, really rough, isn't it? You end up playing, pretty late into the day, and yeah, I think it takes its toll on everyone, especially when you don't really come up with a win at the end. I think that's the worst part. Like, I think you could do well enough if you were sort of succeeding, right? But
Yeah.
What happened?
What are you on about?
So what happened?
It's a good point.
What happened to Pickle in this? The player, not the cat thing. Like, what happened to Pickle in this match?
Good question.
It is in the Pickle nature that they get devoured by other things, right?
Sure.
So I think maybe he made a fundamental mistake in even picking that name because that's what happened.
Is he even called Pickle?
By us, he is.
So he's sealed his own fate by us. Anyway, I guess we should give this game something. So Cobblestone, we didn't really know much about this coming into this. Of course, we haven't seen Luminosity or NRG really play it recently. Luminosity coming out on top. It didn't look like they should do, though. NRG looked like the better team for the most part until the last few rounds. It seemed to fall apart. All the clutches were going in favour of the Brazilians. And
yes.
Yeah, another decent performance from him. Showtime, who was quiet in earlier games, looked amazing. So
listen, just to add to all of that, we were highlighting that one of the problems with NRG is the inconsistency of Peter, and he was very good this game. He actually played a really good game. So they just need way more of that, and they need him to show up in the next map too. I think he did a reasonable job, and I think he did a reasonable job even sometimes on that B-bomb site when when he was not in sort of favorable positions. So yeah, I'd say good job on Peter. It seems like his progression throughout the night was like starting a bit low, but then sort of slowly warming up.
An upward trajectory.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, that was Luminosity's pick. And I say we do move on to Train, which is NRG's. So I think they can bounce back. We did say 3 matches are definitely possible.
But before we move on to Train, let's talk about the Mummy MVP, which is Showtime.
Baby. No.
Baby.
Little man.
Little man. No, it's not Little Man, it's Showtime.
Showtime, yeah. It's probably one of the best performances I've seen from him. The first time I cast him was back in Katowice 2016. I remember saying Showtime Baby a few times when he was clutching, like 4-on-1 and stuff. But yeah, an MVP performance from him. Impact rating 4.87, not the highest we've seen today, but 30 kills.
Dropping the 31 bomb.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Is that a phrase you'd use elsewhere? Showtime, baby.
Where else would I use it?
Oh, but not outside of the game, though. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Where would you like to use it?
I don't know.
Beginning of the theatre.
Yeah.
It's Showtime.
Maybe take someone on a date.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at what point would you say, as soon as they arrive, it's Showtime, baby?
Little man.
Yeah.
Little man. Why are you going on a date with Little Man?
Why is this?
Why wouldn't I be? Prejudice?
No, that's fine.
No?
No problem.
Don't dig yourself a hole, James.
I'm not digging anything.
Right.
Where are we going? Steer the ship, Captain.
Let's talk about Train. In a moment, we'll have an interview with someone from NRG. But before that,
They have a losers interview coming up.
yeah. If it looks like we might be saying goodbye to someone,
Oh, that makes sense.
we will look at an interview that was filmed in Santa
right.
Ana.
Okay.
But let's talk about Train while we're queuing that up.
Well, we've seen the boys from NRG play already against Complexity.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was double overtime. I think we said Complexity looked like the better team on the T side, especially. They looked like they had a better kind of understanding of how they should be playing the map. They lost both pistols, so NRG were lucky to even get to overtime in that respect. They got 3-0 on either side with.
Yeah, and I mean,
pistols
the
around.
weakness that we're talking about for NRG was that B-bomb site that just wasn't working out at all.
Fugly, yeah.
Yeah, they were having a really hard time defending that. And the problem is, because that was an error they never corrected in that game, if Luminosity were watching, they could just do the same thing. They don't even need to learn much. They can just say, well, that B-bomb site's not
The
good.
good news was towards the end, he seemed to adjust how he was playing it. He got the double AWP out and he was more comfortable. The problem is he was playing so passively in that B-bomb site with a rifle, with the M4.
Yeah.
Didn't have much utility to work with. He'd spot them coming in, but then they'd get so close for a couple of smokes. They'd get right to connector, right down the upper ramp as well. He'd get overwhelmed, and that was a massive problem for them. So that's definitely going to be an issue. And with the 1-0 down as well, I guess this is their map pick. We have no idea really what Luminosity are going to be bringing on Train. I assume that they'll allow NRG to pick this one up and go to Cash. And that's what I said before going into the series. I think that Cash is where Luminosity close it out because we've seen that matchup already.
Yeah.
So NRG obviously need to win this one. And it'd be a shame to say goodbye to another North American team. Obviously got a lot of Brazilian representation here. They're looking quite strong at the moment to get maybe even first and second spot. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be
As you say, NRG, they are on the ropes. And because of that, we are going to go to a quick interview that was filmed earlier today in Santa Ana with them.
My name is Damian Dapp Steele, and I play for NRG.